Hi, this is Elliot WaveSage. Let's start our live stream here. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes. So we'll just kind of jump into the Q&A here. Starting from the top, Neo was starting to behave a little bit better at the end of our sessions last week, toward the end of the week. So far so good. It may be benefiting from the small cap. So we have this potential really big inverse head and shoulders that could break out, get us to $9 to create an even larger one later to even get us to double digits. But this is going to take time. That's the idea, the trade idea, the investment idea. We did have a first wave out and then a three-wave correction with a diagonal breakout, fill in this gap, ironically, as soon as we finished. And then we proceeded, this could be debated. Is it one or three waves or one, 5 waves here? Again, I could go to the shorter time frames and put a 4 and a 5 here. So I'm just going to call this as a bullish sequence here for now. But if we do drop and break this low at 415, then this is just a corrective move. And more than likely then these lows here will break and it will go a lot lower. So I won't like to trade it in that situation. But as long as we're here, the bullish count, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the 1, put the 2 here, and then this looks like another 5 up. So, maybe we get another pullback and we come out a little later. Could just gap and run. We don't know, but if we could retake this high, I think that would be a really high confidence. The next target is 580. And then potentially complete in the pattern, which would take us to $9. Okay, so that's Neo, and that's why I like to be in it. So we'll see if that works out or not. But yeah, so we obviously had some pretty big news, the last night or late afternoon, depending on your time zone. And I'll say that, the market typically on, this type of inflection point news could change trajectory. We saw that in 9/11. We saw that with the Kennedy assassination. It ushered in essentially the 20-year bear market after the national high was ruined. So who knows what could have happened on Monday had that been successful. But it just shows that you can never predict the future and what news event will emerge to create the next real long-term cycles in the market. But right now, it's business as usual. We'll see if this escalates in terms of, the rabbit hole goes deep, conspiracies prove to be true, and then I could see the indices being affected in some way. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think so. I think the indices will continue to trade as is for now. So let's go to Bitcoin real quick before I go into the super chat, just to show Bitcoin, because it is breaking out, guys, tonight. And if you watched my channel, watched my live stream on Saturday, we were kind of like, hey, you got to watch this. And sure enough, we broke the downtrend. Now, this isn't the major downtrend. This is the downtrend of June, which some crypto had already broken. Bitcoin has now broken it, and now it's confirmed the breakout. So if this count is right, we should be entering a 3. We should continue to push higher, squeeze higher, and I thought the next logical point for consolidation is 64,000. But it could surprise us and go even higher because people's sentiment was so negative. Again, we had on our channel the buy here on this nice 3-wave pullback with a low risk, high reward buy right here. So if you don't follow me, I mean, what this information could have been extremely lucrative, especially if this is a major low and we're never going to look back and see these prices ever again, which is possible. So again, just think about who you're following, who you're listening to, as we now gain momentum and accelerate maybe out of this situation. And then Ethereum, similar. Link is a alt that I've been tracking for you guys, and that has broken out as well. Bitcoin Cash is already broke the June downtrend, but it's about to break the March decline. The March, let me go back. This is about to break the April correction. And I think it's one of the only ones. It's about to. So if it could do it, it'll be one of the first. And I do believe if this breaks out, you've got a nice inverse head and shoulders that just completed. And that should get us easy to 450, probably the 510. So just giving you some my crypto that I track. But that's what I see. And again, it gave you another entry right here. And it looks like it's coming off of that. But it does seem, again, 5 for now. We could erase divergence, and then it becomes a 1, 2, which is probably the most likely path. So Bitcoin, this looks like 5 up. This actually looks like it's another 2 in a very short time frame. Something like that is taking place. Okay, let's go to the Super Chats. Well, actually, I'm going to do one that I missed on Saturday. There was a super chat I missed, so I'll go back and cover that. WINA. I updated this chart, so this will be a quick update. So looking at it from a very bullish standpoint, at this point, we had a series of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2s, and I believe the first impulse is finished here, and we're pulling back in a larger degree 4. The way we bottomed here does not look good. It looks like this will continue the rise potentially, but then there should be a rug pull to finish 4. But we would still continue higher, and I kind of show the idea over the next several years of what it will look like. Essentially dead money, because the easy money is over. That's my hypothesis, my theory here on what will happen. So just do what's best for you, whoever asked for this. And there's always a chance this could become another 1, 2 if you're lucky. But I think, given the count and where we are, I think something like this is what you can expect. And you gotta figure it out. So, but I think in the short term, we're gonna pump a little more and fail. All right, one road AV. Let's go to CYN. CYN. If I can see if I've got it already charted. And it looks like I don't. Syngin. Oh, looks like we have charted it. So I'm not going to go back and relabel it. It looks like we're looking for this wave 4 bounce. That should be pretty significant. And it should, let's see. We have that divergence. This is the daily time frame. We need to go to the weekly time frame. See what we can get out of it. Nothing there. Well, we're going to have to use the daily time frame, but it's not ideal. But even if you did that, so I would at least want this trend line to break before I call the low. But you really do seem like you have, with the bullish divergence, a wave 5 that should be about to finish. So we have to look at this wave and see where are we in that wave. This wave 5. So on the 4-hour cycle, as you can see here, we did not have bullish divergence, but we had a substantial bounce. So this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, or just a 1-2. So I actually think it's got to go lower. I think the best way to label it would be a 1-2, 1-2. Or I'm sorry, we'll label it this way because we need bullish divergence. This is how we do it. A 3, 4, 5. So we need one more low that, you know, theoretically you really don't want the 4 to go any higher. Then it's a 1-2, right? That would change it. So as long as you're still in this channel, it has a risk to go lower, and I do think it will. And then that should be it, and then you should get a pretty good pump out of this. And that's what you're looking for, but that pump will fail most likely. And it could be something really quick and short, just like you got here. It may be over in a blink of an eye, so you don't know what you're going to get. It may be by the time you turn your computer on, it may have already pumped and be over. So no one knows. But that seems to be the way this thing fractals. So I think you got to be very alert and watching it for the squeeze play, as it tends to just pop and boom, it's gone. And that's what probably will happen with this 4 when it emerges to correct this whole cycle here. All right. Let's go to the next one. RO10 cheese. Snowflake, you know, I still been pushing for one more low in Snowflake, and it's been a target I've had, I think, for over a year, maybe even a year and a half, to be honest with you. I've had this target at $90 for a year and a half, and we're heading there. This is a massive flag that's broken down. I think we're in a flat pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5. I just don't see. I see a lead that this low will break, and then we can decide, will it make it all the way to 90 or not. I do believe it's in danger now, looking at this pattern for the wave 3 moment down. Weren't they implicated in the AT&T hack, right? There was their stuff or something. I don't know. I thought I had read that. So you'll have to do what's best for you. But I'm not looking to even look at this until we're in this area. All right, that's the count. Next is Nike. I was looking for $70 on Nike, but it actually has the potential to go lower. So I don't know if I want to bottom fish Nike. There's just too many other opportunities in this market to waste your money hoping Nike bounces. But it could very well bounce here at $70. But there is an oh shit target of 35. It can hit 35, guys. It's possible, and that it may bounce and fail. It may take a while to get there. So I don't like it. I don't want to trade it. It has a major top that just broke, and this top. I think if I do this right, and again, I'm not a chart pattern guy, but some of these chart pattern guys, you know, they do something like this, and that gets you like what? I mean, that's going to get you to these targets, right? You're not going to, was it going to go bankrupt? So probably won't, but it's going to go. So I think you could be set up for these low levels, but it will take a lot of time. I think it could take time to get there. So I just don't like trading it, but I think there's a chance for a good bounce at 7 in this area, 70 and 68. Maybe back up to back test 90, you know, but like I said, I have other things to trade besides this. And you haven't even erased the divergences yet really well like you want to see. So here's another top. Look at this. Left shoulder, head. Maybe we go down to 54 and bounce, and then we come down and finish it. So I just don't like trading it. And, you know, I wish I had better news. I don't know what's wrong with the company fundamentally. I mean, I buy Nike stuff all the time, guys. I mean, I don't know why. I guess their shit just got too expensive for people or something. I don't know. But it is what it is. So it's breaking down. This was a massive pivot technical failure right here. And so it's essentially, honestly, if you get a good three-wave bounce, you should probably think of shorting it. And we don't short a lot on our channel, right? We don't, like, we haven't, like, since the bear market in the 221. But if you get something like that, you could try to short that. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see where this thing goes. But that's Nike. And then Braze, I have not heard of that one before. Let's look at that. Braze, looks like well, it's been marked, so I don't know if we've charted in and lost our chart on it. I never like these kind of bottoms like this. There's probably not enough chart data to analyze it properly, so I'll just do my best I can here. You'll have to call this some kind of three-wave move down to here. You have your first wave of 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have your three waves down. So you can call that some kind of A, B, C. And then, of course, you need another, A, B, C here. And then you need another leg lower. So the short area would have been right here. That's where it made the turn. So likely that C is in. And down she goes, and I would be looking for an ABC move down. It looks like, to me, you got the B, you're in B right now. So it looks like the first wave is done, and you're in B. And this will fail, it should take another leg lower and break these lows, and then we'll see where it ends up. It could end up at 1403. That would be the right area to buy it in the $14 area right there. This bounce has a potential to make another swing higher, right? So then fail later. So that's what I look for in Braze. Okay, thanks for the super chat. Khalid on gold and silver after yesterday's events. Well, we already knew they were very bullish, right? We knew silver was going to 35, and it had the chart to go even to 50, and gold 2,500, and the chart to 3,500. So potential. So before any news event happened, now could the news event justify what we already knew in the chart? What if we wake up on Monday and silver's trading at 40 bucks? I mean, I don't know. I just say, boom, let's say silver's at $46. Everyone's going to say it was Trump's incident, assassination did it. But I would say the chart was already set up for that move, and that was just a perfect excuse to justify the move that the media attributes to, because they don't understand why silver's they don't know why. But see, the technicals are already telling you some real smart money, and I think we're smart money because we accumulated here too. But there was even people that have been accumulating since this era. I mean, so really smart buyers have been buying for this eventuality. So what, did they anticipate this situation and they just knew? Like, I don't think so, right? Unless you believe the conspiracy theories. But I think that this is why I don't believe the news drives the price. I think the technicals drive the price, which is, what's the technicals? The technicals is sentiment and trader positioning, and how the computer algorithmic traders are programmed by their programmers, and how the big players trade and get in and out. And those things show up in the chart, and we trade. That's why our boxes here work almost all the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. And then the media, the Kramers, and everybody else is like, they try to find the news so it makes sense to them, because like the Russell didn't make sense to people last week. They didn't, but us, we knew that Russell was coming. We knew that was coming for the last 3 or 4 weeks, but they don't know why. So they just say, oh, it's a rotation into small caps, and there was these other things. Like, no, it wasn't any of that. It was just too many people were short the Russell, and they finally squeezed themselves out. They finally, and we saw that in the chart. The chart that translated into the counts we see in the charts. And that's how we see it. So I don't know. So I think from the news on silver, the news is irrelevant to me on how I trade it. I still think the chart is the chart, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it go higher. And that means the dollar should go weaker, right? We didn't get a big bounce here. Now we are down 5 on the dollar here, right? We're down 5. So this impulse is finished. So we are due a bigger relief rally back up to maybe 105. That actually could make precious metals sell off. But what if this bounce is weak, right? And it very well could be. And then we unravel. And then silver and gold will go much higher. So I wouldn't worry about the news too much. I think if that shooter was successful, then I think in that situation, I think you could have saw some fear and panic go into the market potentially, and then the market loves to like latch on to that type of news, like I don't know what you call that, like you know, like pivotal news like that, like once in a lifetime events. And it uses it as massive turning point. The market uses that, so we know what there is. So we know there's a massive turning point coming in the market, guys. Right? We know this is coming in the SPY, a massive turning point in the next year and a half, right here. But we don't know what was going to cause it. No one knows. Could this Trump thing, you know, assassination, lead to dominoes and an avalanche of escalation to where it crescendos, and then that's the call? Maybe, I don't know. But if something were to happen, he was successful, maybe the market is already primed for this. Maybe it would have just short-circuited and just would have just started dropping, and then this would have come early, which is, I think, what kind of happened with COVID. I do believe that situation happened with COVID, because I do believe the market still needed to go a little bit higher. When we were in COVID, before COVID emerged, the target in the market here was more like 360, 380. And then I think COVID overwhelmed the algorithmic traders. And I do believe this was the fight right here, this pump. I think the algorithmic traders came in. The computer had a straw, Aladdin, if you want to, and they tried their best to keep the cycle alive. And this was the first time they lost control of the market. Aladdin lost control of the market right here. And that's when all that shit just broke, you know, everything broke down. And the technicals were like, okay, we ended a much bigger cycle. So that happens in the market, I think. And that's where when Bernanke came out on this rebound, he came out and said, guys, we need to study what happened, because he came out and said, because, you know, normally we have controls in place to manage this type of situation, and he was surprised that we dropped because it shouldn't have happened. He implied, essentially, there's a plunge protection team. His words, he essentially gave proof there is such a thing as plunge protection, or Aladdin, or whatever you want to, and even Aladdin got blown up, got blown over here. So when these indices top and the public really starts to panic, there's that no one's going to save the market, guys. That's what's going to probably happen here. So could this event cause that? We may be close enough to the top that it could have truncated it and caused it, maybe, but it didn't happen. Now maybe this leads into this situation, this top. You know, now maybe people are like, oh shit, you know. So that's what we need to watch. It does it escalate? Is there going to be payback? Does Trump get reelected? And will there be a house cleaning and create more like craziness? Like, but this is the chart. And then something really, really bad is going to happen at the end of 25, mid 25-ish, maybe as late as 26. And then it's going to get ugly. And then, yeah, there will plunge protection won't work. Federal Reserve won't save it. Aladdin won't save it. There'll be so much people panic, it'll be insane. But that's what's going to probably happen. That's what I think. For now, unless the technicals can reverse and we can erase divergence on the weekly and monthly indices. All right, enough of that, guys. That's all I want to talk about. Let's go to Timothy, your super chat. Natural gas, guys, going back. I think natural gas is due for a capitulation event. I've been saying that. I think natural gas could do that, but But I'm not a trader in it. You know, I have a chart here that I need to show that we have 5 waves down from this low. We have a 1, 2, and then we broke this low here. So it actually sets up by breaking this low using my system more another cycle lower. It essentially, I think, a capitulation event to where natural gas essentially goes negative like oil did. I just think that's what's going to happen. Now, if that isn't going to happen, it needs to bounce right here, and that will negate my view. So this is a 3 swing bounce. So we need to the market. If the market keeps pushing through below 2, if we go below 2, then this is what's going to happen. And again, my oil has hit the peak of my triangle. We pulled back, and I gave the short area setup, and boom! As soon as we hit it, a dump. So is oil telling you guys the shit's going to unravel in the energy complex? I don't know. I'm just saying, if this happens in oil and we go to 50, natural gas is getting destroyed. I don't care what you say. It's going down. So this is what I think, but it's not clear to me. I think you just have to trade it if you believe in it, but I don't believe in it. But I think if you can get this high taken back here, then I think my chart is wrong. It's just wrong, and it's gonna I have to reassess it. And I have not had much luck trading natural gas. So that's probably one of the reasons I stay out of the trade. Okay, Caravana is one we've done really well in on our channel. We have really nailed Caravana, guys. Is this Caravana? Yeah, Caravana. Yeah. So Caravana, we have this 5th wave that looks like it should be coming to an end here at any moment with divergence, which should end 3. So we should drop back to this area about 100-ish, and then we should get one more high to complete the impulse. Now, what would be really crazy is if this is a corrective move, because again, you have only 3 waves. So you have to be careful hoping for this 5, because there's no guarantee you get a 5. This could be just a corrective move off the downtrend, and in fact, we go all the way back down and break these lows. So this will be interesting how to play it if you're in it. But like I said on our channel, we had to buy here at like $4. In my videos, I mentioned this. I called the low, and then we had to buy here at 40. So we've pretty much nailed it. I think, based on what I'm seeing, I think you're going to get the 5, and then you're going to get one nasty pullback. All right, the next is Jumia. Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of people don't ask me about that stock because it's been doing pretty well. It's a small cap behaving pretty well. Let's take a look. Why did I label it this way? I did have that wedge breakout here. Let me see why I didn't call that a low. Yeah, it's one of these not enough chart data. So I think the best way to trade it is not looking for another swing down. I think you just trade it off this low and just assume you're in a new bull market off of this low. And that's what you really have here, right? I mean, you really have like a series of 1, 2. Now here's some bearish divergence, and we just erased it. So you're in a 5 technically, but it looks like it's going to extend and erase that divergence. So you could be in this 5. So right now, this is how I would label it. You know, the 5 will end at any moment, and we'll lose the whole, go all the way back down. I mean, or it extends 1, 2, 1, 2, and it just goes. If you could take this peak out here, you're about to do that. Let's see if the daily did it. About to. The 4-hour. You're so close. So it's very close to race and divergence. If it does that, then it's not a 5. It's still a 3 of 3. It will just continue to go higher. It's not sure why it's so bullish. All of us, because a lot of these like this is supposedly the Amazon of Africa, they call it, and not sure why it's so bullish right now, but it is. So I'll just go with this for now, but it could easily be a 1-2, 1-2, and out a 3, and just keep going. Okay, guys, I'll go back to your questions and see where you're at. Can you look at optimism? I don't know if I'll try to find the symbol if I can find it. Optimism here. Is it a crypto? It looks like it's some kind of crypto. All right, so right away we see, I look at this as 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see. Yeah, it's moving in some kind of well, there's your 4, 5. So this is your 3, 4. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is a ugly chart. I don't know if that's that wick is something we need to consider or not. It throws our chart up. So I'm going to look at a different exchange just to confirm if that wick is even valid. Yeah, see, I didn't think it was. Okay, so this looks a little bit better here. Is that the crypto? Wait a minute. I'll just make sure. Optimism. I just want to make sure I get the right one. Let's do Coinbase. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is better. Okay, so looking at it here, this is some kind of 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like there's only 3 waves up here. But you do have the divergence. Let's look at the monthly, even on the monthly. So we have to call it an impulse. It looks like in a 1, 2, 1, 2. So that low should hold. I'm surprised it's that bullish, but based on the RSIs, I mean, that's what I got to go with for now. So here's an example of a real tight wave 4 and 5. So you have like a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your 3, 4, and then there's your 5, and then there's your flat correction, right? Some kind of flat correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take a look here. Or is it a 3-wave move? Looks like, yeah, looks like we're gonna end here at 3. So if this is right, we actually need one more low, but we're not going to be able to break this low. So it's really there's not a lot of data, so I'm not going to label it this bullish anymore. I'm just going to label it as a 3-swing move, which is more typical. Just kind of looking at it here. That needs more downside, and then you'll come higher. You know, something like this. So I think this needs more downside to finish this impulse. This looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Something like 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So be looking for something like that. And then it comes out. So I'll give you some potential targets. Let's see, that is not going to help us. So let's look for here. So that gives you the target right here. We'll see if it hits it or not. It's a hard chart because there's just not a lot of data, and so you just kind of have to go with this for now. But you'll have to do what's best for you. I can be wrong, but that's why I look at this right now. All right, looks like I got another super chat. Mike, VEV. Let's see here. Vicinity Motor. Never heard of them. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is some kind of flat correction, most likely. Yep. So some kind of flat that's playing out, and we need the flat to finish. It could be finished. It looks like to me it could be finished at any moment, although you see how it has no divergence there. That's not good, so that means it's probably going lower. But let's go to a lower time frame just to confirm it. Yeah, see, you still don't have it. So it still has more downside. You want to see some bullish divergence, at least on the daily. So then you just have to count your impulses down. Like to me, that looks like a 1-2, 1-2, right? And then there's another 1-2, 3-4. And then this is your 3. And then that could be your 4 right there. It needs like 5. So it needs like another low. It could still, it looks like you could still be in 4 potentially, but I'll be looking for another low and see, and then it should, if this is the right pattern, it should reverse out of this flat. And then if you're lucky, you'll get something like this. Now, I could always play around and try to like manipulate this and put, you know, the 3 here, the 4 here. So I would say if this pump goes a little too strong, let's go to the higher, like the monthly time frame. Yeah, I think you gotta watch this monthly. See how the monthly cycle already broke. So I would be careful that there's a possibility that this count is off just by a little bit. There's always a chance. So this is going to be a tough call, whether it's bottomed or not. If you could get the monthly, let's take a look here. Maybe this is a better one on the weekly cycle. Yeah, watch the weekly cycle. If you see this weekly cycle break up, then you know this is over. The daily cycle, yeah, it won't be much help. So that's what you're going to have to do. This is it's tough to say if it's bottomed or not, but I think I want to see more bullish divergence to show this 5, which you don't really see in the charts. So, all right, VLCN. Let's see what we got here. I don't think I've got that one charted. Volcan. Volcan's another one. Bear market since existence. These kind of charts are so popular with my followers. You guys love these kind of companies. I actually like to buy the other kind of companies because then the trend is least on your side. But you guys do what's best for you. So, you know, that's too big of an area to try to get anything out of that. So it looks like to be some kind of 3-way move, you know, down in an ABC pattern. I mean, it should be finished. So we have to look at the cycle. Yeah, more than likely. So when you see something like this, yeah, there's your, so it's actually 5 down. So it's an impulse down more than likely. So we have to label this as just an impulse of some kind, right? And again, it's not perfect. And then that probably ended there. That probably ended there, there, and there's your 5. So yeah, it's due for a pretty big pump. May even come back up to $39, $40 when it's finished. But this looks like it could have finished there. I don't know if that low held or not. And it looks like it didn't. And I don't like how this looks. So more likely it's got more downside coming. What you don't want to see is divergence erased, which you just see here. Which that's why. So you have the divergence here, but on the 4-hour you've erased it. So there's a very good chance this could be another 1-2. This is another 1-2. So we have to label it that way as another 1-2. So it's super bearish. Like this is super bearish. You know, is this a future 000? I don't know. I mean, so it's got this 5 here that should finish. Then we should finish this 3. And you should get you know something soon. So this looks like this 4 needs to finish. I mean the 5. So I'll give a target. Maybe you get lucky. 129. So you may get lucky and can pick this up at $1.29 and get a nice pump out of that. But that pump will fail. More than likely, that pump will fail. And then who knows what will happen after that. This 4, let's look at the degree it's associated with. It's associated with this degree, this 1. Look what happened here. This 1 went from 297 to almost 1,000. I would expect something just as spectacular when that 4 hits. But obviously not to $100. Like it's gonna, you know, maybe it could get to like, you know, somewhere up here. Somewhere up there. Okay, good luck on that. Hope it works out. All right, Jonathan, Disney and Meta on a day trade basis. Okay, I'll take a look at Meta. So the Meta from our last kind of day trade update worked out really well. We nailed that because I think we were afraid it was going lower, and I was like, no, not yet. and we went up to where we needed to. Now, Meta, I have a new count on this. So this is a 5th wave. A lot of people are like, oh, wave 5 is done. Now, it could be done. I don't think it is. I think 5 is going to extend. I believe this is just 1 of 2 of 5, and this is a flat correction. So if I was day trading it, this is how I'd play Meta, guys. I'd wait to buy it at 481.57, and then I would wait to buy it when it's in this area right here, and then I would also at the same time go back to the triple Qs and look. Is the triple Qs right in this area at 486.88? If those things are right, then you're in a really good high reward situation for a day trader bounce. You know, a bounce for a day trader. And yeah, I guess you could do 0-day calls and time it and get lucky, or you could do next day. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to play the day trade, but just the setup, that's how I would set that up. But I don't like to buy it here, right? No way. Here, definitely. There, don't even bother me. Now, let us say we're trading here and the triple Qs are still up here. Well, then I would be much more cautious. Then I would try to time my entry for when the Qs are down in this area. 486, 483. So you got to watch both. But, you know, obviously something's going to have to go first. Maybe Meta goes first before the Qs do. I don't know. But Amazon's kind of the same way, guys. By the way, Amazon, we called this flat, right? We were like, wait for the flat. Now you're going to get that. I'm looking for 190. We have this trend line. We did hit that and bounce, by the way, but I think we're going to break that a little bit. I think we're going to break it. I'm looking for 190. So these are areas, and again, I have this as a 5, but it could easily become a 1-2. More than likely will become a 1-2 again and extend. But So that's Meta. Now then Disney. I haven't looked at Disney in a while. It should be turning up. Disney is due for a pretty big relief rally at any moment. I still have it in wave C. I want to see more upside. This will be like a Nike. Guys, if we break 77.78, it's going to do a Nike. It's going to wipe out shareholders, man. So it just doesn't seem likely. You have this divergence here. It looks like five waves up to me. It just that's how it appears. For me, this is like a 1-2. You can't see the 4 on this time frame, but something like that. And now we're pulling back. You have this bullish divergence here. Now, we called this a flat earlier, right? We called this a flat earlier, and we didn't know where the impulse will end. We thought it could end there, but it extended down here. So we're still in the impulse down. Now with the bearish divergence, it should be coming to an end pretty soon, right? It looks like to me something like 1, 2, 3, 4, so 3, 4, and this is just an extended 5th. Yeah, see? So we need to go into the shorter time frame and watch this wave 5. So this wave 5, we got to even go to the 45-minute. So there's your wave 3 of 5 right here. This is your cycle. So you need this before this turns up. You're going to need this cycle to break. This cycle has to break the 45-minute cycle. It looks like it tried to do that here and it got rejected. Or it got rejected there. So it looks like to me you got a 1, 2, one more low. That should create some bullish divergence. So we'll see it. We'll see. So I would be looking for one more low, and then hopefully it can make a U-turn. 95. This area, $95, and maybe it will turn higher there. So that's how I play. So again, when the Qs drop, more than likely Disney drops, and then more than likely when the Qs find support, Disney could find support here, and that should help you find an entry for long position to get this next wave out. Here. Yes, let's see. That's the 382 right there. So you also have Fibonacci support on that box, coincidentally. So I'm looking for that. 1, a 2, and out. That's what I'm looking for in Disney. We did fill this gap. Disney's a lot harder because it's in a flat and it could continue to extend. So it's possible, and that's why I always say I can't be wrong, but that's how I see Disney right now, guys. All right, next question, Thomas. Oh, wheat. Okay. Wheat futures. That's one we never really get on our channel. It had that big pump on the Ukraine invasion, right? Wheat had a big pump. Do I have wheat here? I think that's soybeans. What's the symbol? ZW. I got it here. I don't know if I've ever charted. Oh, it looks like I have a chart on wheat. So we called, I mean, this is old chart. This is an old chart. So we had 3 swings, connector. So we're looking for this Y to finish. I mean, is it coming down to 3? More than likely, this is another, more than likely it's either triple in or it's going to do another connector. Let's go to a monthly time frame. It actually looks like 5 waves down. It changed, it morphed, the structure morphed into an impulse. It looks like to me. No, I'll put Y here. So I have to change the chart a little bit. So we've got 3 swings and then 3 up. So you more than likely, since this wick broke that low, I'll go in. It's got more downside coming. See this? It broke that. So this could have been the bottom, but it failed. And so I do believe we're in the next swing lower. Uh, you know, it's possible it could bottom here, right here. But you need to erase divergences. And it's this monthly will have to come all the way down. And then the weekly will have to do the same. If it can do that and it's in this box, then that should be the low. And also, as you can see, you need this Y needs a bounce and a failure, just like, so you don't really have that bounce yet. So it's probably due a bounce, right? I mean, more than likely, unless that's it. I mean, that could be the bounce right there. Maybe the bounce is over. I mean, that could be the bounce. Yeah, it's probably over. So you're getting capitulation in this market. Yeah, so I think that was it. I don't think you got a big bounce here. So I guess cereal's getting cheaper. Good, but not for long. Now this low has to hold. This has to hold for the bullish structure to stay in place, right? The bullish count, right? 1, 2, and then this is a 1, 2. So, we get down here. It's like go buy, go load up on your Wheaties and, Cheerios or whatever, because this could be, we may not see wheat this cheap ever again in our lifetime. Sadly, based on this chart. Now, if this low breaks, then it's going back to the historical lows. So it's actually It's actually bearish. It's a bearish deflationary chart. This commodity, and that's another way when this uptrend line breaks. So that's how I look at it right now. Something like that. It needs to push lower, but I'd be looking for that erasure of the divergence, and I think you're getting that capitulation right now. And Neo, I gave that update a second ago here on the channel. Neo, guys, is let's go back through that real quick. Shorter time frame. So Neo, inverse head and shoulders. We're trying to finish this right shoulder. We could come out, get to 9. 9 creates a bigger inverse head and shoulders. Left, head, and then we get a right shoulder, and then we come out, and it's off to the races. That's what I'm looking for in Neo, so I'm playing the long game. That's going to take a while to play out, as it's been proven the case. Short term, a low, a 5-wave move, a 3-wave reaction, a wedge breakout with a back test that was successful. Clearly 5 up here. We broke the high. Once we break 513, we could get right up to 580, and if we're lucky, we break out. So that's what we're hoping for. If we come back down and either break this low here, 410 or whatever, then this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to impulse down, and I don't want to trade it anymore. Then it's probably going to break this low here, and it's just going to meander its way lower and lower, and it's not really something I want to trade at that point. So that's what I was like, just do or die for Neo, and so far it's been proven to be resilient, but we need to see more follow through. Okay, guys, I think that's good for that. I'll just kind of go back through comments. Looked at Bitcoin, JPM. Let's look at that. JPM. Again, this is an old chart. We have us in a wave 5. Is wave 5 done? That would be pretty scary if it is. Let's take a look. What do I have labeled here? A 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's look at this 5th wave. No, it's extending. It's extending. So at least the wave 5 should extend. In fact, it took out divergence. So the whole entire wave is extended. And that's why you don't short wave fives, guys, because JP Morgan just showed you what happens if you do that and get it wrong. So we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a whole nother cycle 1, 2 here. So that's what happens. And now, so yeah, it's going much higher in wave 3. So it's still in wave 3, and it's coming on out of that cycle. I think that's why everyone's saying they're bullish on the banks, right? Because we took that high out. So this would be just another 1, 2 here. Yeah, the banks broke out, guys. If you track another bank, BNY broke out to all-time highs off of massive kind of consolidation here. Look at this. Since 2000, it broke out. A massive cup and handle. So the banks aren't bearish, guys. The banks aren't bearish. I mean, BNY, and I think they're fucking around with crypto. I think that's what I read. And ever since they put that out, their stock's been going up. I think that's why they're going up. I don't know why, but I don't know why. But look, how can the market crash if one of the legacy banks is breaking out of a chart like this? It's going to 100, 120. So the banks are actually really bullish, guys. The Dow's bullish. We know the Dow is breaking out into a wave 3. So are the banks. I don't know why. I can't tell you the fundamental reason why, but that's just the way the charts are reading. Good luck with that. Okay, let's keep going. I've got another super chat here. Obaid, AMD, NVIDIA. AMD should continue higher. I'm looking for the 200s, potentially even higher prices than that. And AMD's been a great trade. Again, on our channel, we called that bottom here. Vertical, the conservative count, this is a 4, or we're still in 4. We get like another move down to 176. We get 5. We pull back, and we come up. So it could really top around sideways. The other count is 4 is done. We finish up with 5, and then we pull back down to 175. And of course, there's a more bullish scenario, which you can never rule out, is it's another 1, 2, and this is a 1, 2, and it moons. So that's why I don't like selling it, because I don't know which one it is. But what I do know is this should carry us at least up to 220, up to 250 before maybe a catastrophe. So it's higher. It's higher. That's what it looks like to me. Then the other one you have is NVIDIA. Is it really tricky? NVIDIA is super tough. I do not like trading NVIDIA where it is. I've been telling people not to be messing around with it here. Now, there's a lot of day traders messing around, fine. But I would rather get it in a bounce and a failure at 113, 108, 104. But there's a chance the 2 is done and it is a 1, 2, 1, 2. There's a chance that's the case. Now, the bearish scenario is negated if we could take back 136.45. But until then, I'm going with this more conservative view as it extends in wave 5. That's how I look at this, okay? I still think we're in 5. I don't think this is 5, by the way, guys, because if this is 5, we have to then say maybe the indices have peaked, right? Because how can NVIDIA crash in the grand super cycle and the indices run? It just can't. I just don't think it can. Now, I mean, I could be wrong, but now if this wave 5 is in, this would have come down and we would be down here somewhere already. So I don't think it's, I think we're still in 5, but this is tough. This is an area that's like a flip of a coin. It's a flip of a coin. So I'd rather just be on the sidelines and okay, it drops, boom, I'm buying it. Boom, market buy, and I'm like, thank you for the easy money. If it pumps, all right, so be it. I'm in other things. I'm in AMD. AMD will pump with it. No big deal. Here is a guess. You're just guessing. Yeah, I'll go to the casino, guess. All right. Aldridge, CPS. Let's go to CPS here. CPS. Okay, CPS. That's 5 swings off the low here. Yeah, so I actually like how we came off that bottom. I don't even need to really chart the rest of it, but I'll look at it, of course. And then, of course, you're pulling back in 3. Normally, I'd like to see it come back to 854 between the 4 and the 2. Again, I always say this time and time again. You're not going to find this in any rule book. This is my own rule that I've just noticed over trading the market. So perhaps that's how computers are programmed. I don't know. And ironically, that's where the buy area is. So I think I'd be looking for more downside down to this area. 940, maybe 842 in a 3-wave move down of some kind. That should be ready for its. It looks like it's ready to turn lower. Now, bigger picture. It's really ugly. It looks like this is a connector of some kind. This is actually, the connector is actually right here. Let's see, monthly. There, okay. With the 5 down. Yeah, so I think we're in a connector wave of some kind. So it is going to go higher, but then this will fail, and then it should make a halt. It should go lower. I mean, it could go as high as 57.30 at some point, but at some point I believe it's going to fail. The rally will fail and then go to new lows. But I believe I think this is premature for the pump, but we'll see if it can make these lows I have highlighted here. It looks like it's not finished yet. Yeah, you see how the daily cycle, this peak is higher than that peak. You actually want it the opposite. So it looks like it's got more downside. You want the daily cycle to reset and get below that peak here to take that out. So definitely, I almost think definitely lower, and then we should come out of that in wave 3. Thanks for the 10. RRO10 cheese. NXP, yeah, that's what we hear a lot about on TV. How are they doing here? Looks like we've not charted that. Oh, it's a different company. Or do you mean the semiconductors? That's what I thought. Semiconductors. Okay, there we go. Very bullish, like all semiconductors, right? So this is your like major low right here in the cycle. You see how this peak didn't take that peak out, so that's how you do. This wasn't a 3. Again, a lot of Elliott wave people will go, oh, a 3, 4, 5 again, right? But no, then it isn't. It isn't that. It's an extension. It's an extension. So we're in wave 3. The RSI is going to come all the way up. It's going to take these peaks out. So it's got plenty more upside to go. I believe you should just, this is one you want to just buy the dips in 3 waves. It looks like the sellers are panicking as the market continues higher, probably defying all their logic and reason. Yeah, that's kind of an ugly impulse there. So here, there's your cycle. This is a clear impulse. This is a clear cycle. This looks like, what, another lead-in diagonal within a lead-in diagonal. I mean, it's really a strange impulse here, but I guess you could force it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I could force that. But see how you had that reset? Yeah, this, I'm just going to label it using the RSI system, not necessarily the Elliott wave. Like, I can force the Elliott wave count to make the cycle work, but just using the RSIs, I would put the 1, 2 here. And then this next cycle is done here. So it's about to see the power of wave 3 of 3, like Amcor is. So this chart is kind of set up like Amcor. So maybe there's these second chance semiconductor plays. I guess the third derivative, fourth derivative semiconductor plays are all about to get money moving in. Maybe the Nvidias, are done. Now the Microns are done. The AMD is just finished, started. So maybe now these like third or fourth derivative semis are now it's their turn. Super Micro's done, and maybe money's now going to just move into these kind. The Amcors, this NXP, Intel, that type of thing. The ones that really haven't moved. That's what these charts are saying. Let's look at ASML. I think that's another one. Right, yeah. It's probably the same chart. Damn, we must have looked at it back here. Too bad I didn't buy it there. Oh well. So this is an interesting chart. Let's take a look at these cycles. We have to actually go to a quarterly time frame to see it properly. So there's your 1, 2. So there's your, to see how this peak is. So this one may have already seen its wave 3 moment. So this one's a little different. You see that bearish divergence? This peak is above this peak. This one could be not as bullish. This one may be in a wave 5. This one could be in a wave 5. Now the question is, how deep did this 4 go? So that's always something to check, because wave 4s shouldn't be really big capitulation. So anytime you go that deep, a 3A2, typically it's actually not a 4. I mean, it can be, but it usually isn't. So what I would do is label this as one big cycle that finished. So the way I would label it is just put 1 here, 2 here, and then we're out. So because this was just too much capitulation for a 4, so it just reset the cycle, and then you have a 1, 2 here. But you see how you took the divergence out? So this is another 1, 2. I mean, technically on ASML, guys, the quarterly, the RSI is going to exceed this peak more than likely. That's how man. So some of these semiconductors are still got a lot more upside. Yeah, this one looks really good. Again, just like Amcor, just like the last one I did, it's almost the same chart. It's ready for its explosion. Right? So because of that divergence, that's why I labeled it. Now, if I don't go to that time frame, you see you don't have that divergence. So you could say that's all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll pull back to 847. But even if we do that, it's still going to come out and go. So, but I saw the divergence erase, right, on the monthly. So it's probably not going to do that. So that's why I like this label, this 1 2 1 2 bullish label versus the other label, the 3 4 5 label, because again, classic Elliott waves, you would go 1 2 3 4 5. Oh shit, short, short, short. But I think the monthly cycle is telling you it's an extension, and it's a bear trap to try to short this peak here. But you have to do what's best for you on that. And we're going to add those in. I want to add these guys. Keep an eye on them. Okay. And then Veritiv. Veritiv, I've heard of that before. Is that looks like we've done that chart before. This one. All right, so it looks like we're calling this wave 5, right? So the question is wave 4 done or not? So is the 4 done or not? I would say it looks like to me it's not finished yet. It could still be in the connector wave. But let's see how deep for the 4s on this type of scale usually go back 618. So I would be looking for 7094. So yeah, so more than likely it's still going to go down, but it looks like it's got more upside in the connector wave. So it's in the connector wave. So it's in a connector wave. So this connector wave needs to finish up its wave 3. You know? And again, I don't know how high it's going to go, but it looks like it wants to finish this impulse up. You know, it may not only make it to 97 even, but I think at some point it's going to make another swing down here like this. All right, and then Shopify, we haven't talked a lot about Shopify in a while. I don't like its chart anymore. I did like it, but I don't like it anymore. I don't like its chart, but it can negate it. It can be negated. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay. So Shopify, the reason I don't like its chart is first, this was a big move down. Now I have to call it a flat, right? I have to call it a flat. I have to call this a flat to say, oh, it's in a new bull market. Because if I don't do that, then this is just a connector wave. Now I'm forcing this 5 here, right? Because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you bounce. But then look, you failed here, right? You failed here, A, B, and then you have looks like a 3-wave move. So the structure is not good, right? It's not a good structure that I like to trade because the way this is situated. Now I could what I could do is say, well, let's say I'm wrong with the flat. Let's say that's the low. Okay, well, if that's the low, it's still just a 3-wave move. It's corrective, right? This could be an epic bear flag too. So I need this high taken out again. I need this high gone. If not, this is just a 3-wave corrective move until proven otherwise with a suspect bottom in that does not look clean. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if it came back down and broke these lows. And then we moved in 3 here. This Y, we're still like here you have your 3, and then we break down and get another, and it just keeps and it's in a lower low sequence. So let me see something here real quick. So see, that's where it bounced. And you see how it erased divergence here. So it truncated here. So it probably is a triple. I won't relabel it. So this is probably some kind of triple correction. Now, the moment of truth. So if this low breaks at 55, then that sets you up for this box where I have it here. So this area, that's why I don't like trading it, because you're not really in a bullish structure, and the market it still could be moving in a corrective, so it's really not good to trade at the moment. And I do believe there's FUD going around that AI will make whatever Shopify does like irrelevant, because AI will just set up your marketplaces automatically and do everything for you. So I think there's a lot of FUD around the company with AI. Now maybe it can leverage AI and prove everyone wrong, but my best guess is I'm just thinking it's just going to do something like this. But good luck trading it. But I'm definitely on the sidelines on this. And then if it could come back up, fine. But if it takes this high out, then that changes everything. But until then, that's the Shopify count. I wish I had better news for people that are in it. But the way we bottomed was not very good. We should have bottomed here. We took that out. So this changes the whole nature of the correction. This may not be a low. It may actually go lower to these other support areas eventually, in the future. Especially if this bear flag ends up playing out and we break down. Okay? Jonathan for 5. Yeah, the one I've been showing is easy. It's Amcor. I put it on my Twitter, guys. It goes with the semiconductor theme. And again, why do I pick Amcor? Your 2000, you have a massive cup and handle that could break out. That will probably finish soon. The way I label it is a series of 1-2, 1-2s that have been playing out nicely. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 3. No, this shorter term is tricky because it could either be 5 with a 2 back down to 40.39, or it's 1-2, 1-2. I'm sorry, where was it here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I put let's go to the 4-hour cycle here. Yeah, there it is. 3, 4, 5. So I put the cycle. I put the 1, 2. So I label this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. I put 5 here. Put the 1 here. Put the 2 here. And then I do something like this, and then we move now, and we never make it down here. So yeah, I'm really convicted. Silver is another one. High conviction. High conviction on silver, guys. The silver miner, the miners of the gold and silver miners, those are pretty good. Tesla, high conviction on Tesla. So that's what I'm looking at. But I can't be wrong, right? I can't be wrong. See if there's anything else in my watch list that I'll bring up here. Zimmer is one that's emerging, guys. Zimmer may have finished its low. We got 5 up. A shallow connector. We're looking for 1488, 1363. That could be a good opportunity right there. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm just seeing if there's anything I'm really have a lot of conviction in. Monster Beverage, I do, if we can make it down to 44. Starbucks, if we can get to 58. That could be generational low opportunity. Lululemon, if it does break down to 180, 140. Okay. Again, just kind of giving you some ideas that of like really good setups that I think are emergent. Let's go to energy. Okay, there's another one in energy, guys. There's another really good opportunity in energy that I think could develop that you want to keep your eyes on. Schlumberger at 4140, this area, which would also put the OIH 270. OIH, massive potential opportunity as we reverse, cup, handle, boom, blast off. Okay, and what's in OIH? Well, Schlumberger, right? So either one. Big opportunity. I like these charts. I don't like the other charts. I don't like Exxon and all that shit. Chevron, you know, I don't like all that shit. I like these ones. The other one is really cool to keep an eye on is the meme stock of energy rig. If rig can make it to 242, that would be that could be very lucrative because that could go 12, 14, 15. I mean, use your imagination. So energy is going to see resurrection. It's going to resurrect. Now, why would energy take a dump like this? No one knows why. The recession, Trump, you know, pushes the price of oil down by his policies. Who knows why? But that's what these charts have been saying. But we haven't got that move yet. So we don't have the big confirmation in energy yet to show that. But that decision is coming soon. It should be. And we got to watch this oil to know what's going to happen. Now, are we going to get that follow through and break this low and then open up the flats? That's what we don't know. Now, if we take this high back out, the triangles negate it and the energy market is something different than what I've shown. And we're going to have to relook at all those charts because then I think this connector comes up here and we'll get this later. So we need to wait and see. That's why I don't like shorting it right now. But anyway, GDXJ, yeah, that's one I like for the long term, like multi-year, even over, you know, that's one I'll never like want to sell for a long time. So where is that? That's bullish. And people really doubted that call that I made on that miner. They're like very suspicious of why it would do it. They were looking for reasons why, but I'm like, the chart's the chart. And the chart's been playing out, right? I mean, the chart, so I don't care why it would, why it shouldn't. It doesn't deserve it. I don't get into that on this channel, like on my live stream. We don't care. We just look at the charts. And guys, look, I gave you guys the buy at 41. It's been vertical as we've entered the wave 3, right? One, I mean, we've been in this since here, 31. We called 30. You had an entry here. People thought this Elliott wave stage was dumb for buying GDXJ here. Not so dumb now, right? Not so dumb now. Now that we broke this high, we're set up for 50s, 60s, and we're probably going back to the all-time highs. Not the all-time, but this high, the 20 high. Now, there should be resistance here, pull back, out, but you get the idea. But look, we have so many 1-2s. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. So all those 1-2s are going to have to play out, and that's what I think we're starting to see in the precious metal space. So for right now, this is the count I've got. You know, this 5 could end. We could pull all the way back down to 44. But again, it could be another 1-2, 1-2. We just keep going higher. but this was one that was kind of an easy trade. But you had to be patient with this trade, right? You had to be patient. But a lot of people just aren't patient. And or they want news to explain why I would buy. Like people wanted to like why I don't understand, I don't get it. The miners, they're losing money and all. Like I don't care. I don't care about whether they're losing money or what. I don't care. It's just the chart. We're just trading the chart. So your other question is retirement account. When the big crash is near, you go into the stable value funds. Most retirement accounts have stable value funds, and if you don't know what that is, look into it. And then that's what you do with your or short-term treasuries, super short-term treasuries, right? Very 90-day roll-in type thing. Like most 401ks have like a cash account essentially. You can move your money into. They don't like you doing that, right? I mean, they don't like you doing that. And they prevent you from doing that too often. Typically, if you do that like 2 or 3 times in 90 days, they shut you down from even being able to move your money anymore. Like, so you gotta know when you do it, you better know, because you can't be just like in and out, or they shut you down. Because they don't want you to, trade in your 401k money, right? The system doesn't want that. The system needs the 401k holders not to panic, to hold, right? The whole ecosystem, CNBC, that whole channel exists so that you don't sell in a panic. That's the whole reason that channel exists, to keep the masses from selling. Because if everyone sells at the same time, there's fucking market's gone, right? You can't have you. So they need, especially passive flows. If the passive flows stop and everyone's getting like panics out, like that's it. So they can't have that. So the rules are in place for you not to trade in and out of your 401k. But it doesn't mean you can't reallocate, once a year, a couple times a year. You can do that, so do it. And yeah, I'll have some decisions to make myself, right? If we get up to these other areas, like I'm showing here, I'm gonna have some decisions to make. Do I go out in the market? I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Depends. But I'll worry about that problem later. But that is going to be a tough call, man, to get out of the market. It's going to be hard. But if it's hard, that means it's probably the right thing to do, right? Because if you're selling at the top, a real top, you're not going to want to sell. So if that's the case, then that's probably is the right time to sell. But everyone's got to do what's best for you. And then if you're a long-term horizon, let's say you're in your 20s or whatever, or 30s, I wouldn't even worry about it. You just hold through it, because your time will make up for the down. Everyone tried to time the market in '09, they didn't know what they were doing. But if you were like early young, in your 20s, that okay, well, I'll just get the money back. So you don't do anything. You just because you're not going to see that money for 40 years. So you don't want to do that. This is only things for people that are in retirement age need to worry about, more or less. All right, next super chat, DNA, Stefan, DNA. I think that's a Kathy Wood stock that just has been struggling, but I don't know recently where it's gone. I don't know if I have it in my meme stocks or what. So DNA. Yes, DNA's been really struggling. So we had the first support area right. So we did call the bottom here, and we got a nice bounce, but the bounce failed. So it took another leg lower. So this became a connector wave for this entire decline. So it took another leg lower. It's, we can never predict when that happens, but it can happen. The bounce did happen. It's just, unfortunately, the sellers just aren't finished selling it yet. We're close to the bottom of Y. We have to be close. Yeah, I think yeah, right somewhere here is your connector wave. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think it bottoms at any moment in this Y pattern. So we should get a jump like this, or if you're lucky, the actual low, right? And you know, I don't know. It could be a massive. I don't know where, but I think it's due for a pretty big relief rally at any moment. It's getting like a final capitulation, and in fact, we may have already come off the bottom. Let's see, 3 waves. So it looks like it's still got a little more downside. See how we only bounced in 3? So it looks like it's still got more downside coming down to this lower area. Down here. 23.6, 18.9. Somewhere down there. But it should be coming to an end pretty soon. Right? If this is the connector, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, let's just label it real quick. One, two. See, one more low. One more low. And then see what happens. So, okay, that's it. Next is Ronald Cheese again. Let's go through some of these for you. This one looks like, so we had this 5 waves up. So the way I look at this now is we'll just put the 4 here, and we're in 5. This, you have that bearish divergence. It looks like it's over. So yeah, to me it looks like you're in danger that this cycle is over. There's a lot of danger. Now, the 5 can extend, but it's like red alert for a massive drop. Red alert, red alert, red alert. Like danger, danger. This is like danger, danger. So if we can push this 5, it's possible, but I can't predict the future. So that's that. LS. Looks like it hit its 5 target. It is pulling back in 2. So I'd be looking for a pullback down to 130, but it's just starting. So this is going to take some time. All right, next one is ONTO. We don't have that one yet. Wow, very bullish. Still, I'm still in wave, you know, some kind of wave 3. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, just a lot of 1, 2s here. And then out. This is a tough impulse to label, but I'll do my best. This could be like I was showing some of these other semiconductors. It could be in this situation. It can easily do that. The other possibility is this. So I just don't know. I just can't predict it. I'm leaning toward the more bullish scenario. So I'll label it this way, and then you'll have to just do what's best for you and decide what you want to do, because I think This seems, because if I look at the RSIs, we haven't taken this peak out, so more than likely the real wave 3 hasn't happened yet, which means it's probably 1-2s. Similar to a lot of these other third derivative, like semi-type electronic plays. P-Lab is Photronics. Okay, so I like this three-wave move right there. No divergence. So really good low right there. Looks like we're coming out trying to form a parabolic move. Yeah, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See all these overlapping waves? Very bullish. Tons of 1-2s here. The shorts are overplaying their hand. They're trying to slam it down and they're losing. The current of the market is just overwhelming them. Look at that. That's the count I've got. I don't think we've seen the wave 3 yet because these peaks are all, I mean, they're all overlapping. So Elliott wave theory, typically if you overlap, now it could be a lead, some kind of lead in diagonal, but by taking this one out, so this is the count for now. So this could be a massive opportunity about to merge. What do these guys do? Some kind of quartz or glass plates containing microscopic images of electric circuits for use in the fabrication. Oh, so it's like a semi play of some kind. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. We'll add that to my watch list. Okay, good luck with that. All right, next is G33, Rivian. How's Rivian doing? I believe, I think it's continuing the pump, right? I think that was the last thing we are looking at Rivian at here. Let's see what's going on with Rivian. So what was interested is we had that third wave and we overtaken it. So the question is, did we negate the bearish structure? Or are we still in wave 4? See how we took out the divergence? So we're still, so this is actually still a corrective move until we get bearish divergence. So I would not say it's all clear until this trend line breaks right there. Perhaps we're going to tag it, but I would still be worried about this wave 5 and coming back down. Now, if we could take this out, then it's negate it, and then this is a low. And like I said, sometimes I get them wrong. But I think if this ends up being the low, you see you have 3 and you broke this, more than likely it'll just become a massive connector wave. We'll do something like this. It'll like rip, but then at some point it will fail and essentially go bust. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. PET. PET looks like to me. So again, this is not really good chart data. In fact, we broke the low here. Yeah, I mean this is like Yeah, this is going to be something like a three-wave move down, something like this, and then another connector. So it's super bearish. It's like a go to zero chart. It's a go to zero chart. I mean, there's no more room. It's basically investors are anticipating. Now, here's the thing. There's one thing. I'll actually take that back because look, we've made such a big decline here. Okay, the decline ended here. This bounce is all you got for it. When I see something like that, I always look for the flat, guys. The flat, the trap, the bear trap. They don't. So I always look for something like this. So I would be careful you don't get that, and then it collapses. So you're just gonna have to. I don't know which one you're gonna get. You just have to, take a guess and go for it, man. It's essentially what I did with QSI. I mean, it's essentially you're in the same situation I was with this piece of shit stock. I mean, we broke the low, but I'm like, yeah, this bounce wasn't enough, so I'm going to play for the flat. And so far, I've been getting that. Right, I've been getting that. You see? So you just, sometimes you got to try it out, and see if what happens. And so I'm playing for that flat. Maybe that one does the same thing, and you can play for that rip. So you never know. You never know. All right, Wolf. What is that one? Petco. All right. Let's see here. Petco. Oh man, what happened to this company? So right away, when I see something like this, I think 5 waves down. And then look at the reaction, and that's all you got to correct this whole move. So it's very bearish. But what it means is we should get one more swing higher. I think we should get one more swing higher off the low and see the bullish divergence. So more than likely, you're going to get another move higher. The question is B done? Or is it going to take another low? I don't know. It looks like to me it's going to go lower for one more swing down. And then I guess you could try to buy it. You could try to buy it at 230. Buy it here for this wave C, which should fail. All right, the next one is Siri. I think we gave that. We called the 4 and we got it. So we got that 4, we got that right. So now it's in a very important point. We have 3, we dropped. So I would still be looking for lower lows, this area. So this rally should fail at any moment and come down. If we break this high at 424, then we've already bottomed. So I don't know, but so far it's looking just like I would have anticipated. Okay. ServiceNow. ServiceNow is a one I'm in. Very bullish software stock. It broke the all-time high. I think, if I remember right, I think it's one of them that did that. See if I can find it here. So ServiceNow, bigger picture. We broke this high here, and then we almost came back and broke the high on that pump off this drop. Again, I gave this buy entry here, essentially vertical, very bullish. Would have liked to take this high out, we didn't. So I think this is just a straight down crash correction. I don't think it's going to take another leg lower personally. So I believe 2 is in. 1, 2. And then this could be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be another 1, 2, 1, 2. So I don't label it. So as long as we're above 730, we should be going to the thousands. It should be, that's where we should be headed. If we do break this low, by the way, it will just set us up for 680, and wave 2 will come down. But I still like to be in it. All right, guys. So here we go. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I've been on for a little bit here. I appreciate all the super chats. Um, sound, I will do sound because I got to know a lot of you guys follow me on SoundHound. SoundHound shows 5 up. SoundHound shows 5 up, okay? So it's due for a pullback back down to 522 or lower. So, I mean, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bearish divergence. You're about to break the trend. The 45-minute cycle. So I believe, I will be shocked if it continues to extend here, but I do believe it's going to have to pull back, and then we'll get more fireworks. Eventually taking this high out and higher. So you have to be patient, right? You have to be really patient. So I think you're in another 2 that God knows how long it's going to take, but eventually, you know, it should end. I'll be surprised if this is like a 1-2. If this is like a 1-2, then yeah, we should just moon tomorrow. So I actually can't rule that out. I think it's like a 10% chance that it's this. I think that's more likely. All right, but you'll have to do what's best for you. Actually, I'm sorry, it'll be like a 1-2, 1-2. It'll be different, a different count. 1-2, 1-2. So just kind of scanning through comments. Well, yeah, wasn't it funny with DJT? We're like, yeah, it should pump in wave 3. Well, now I guess the news hit, so I think maybe DJT will pump now. I was still looking for a pump and failure, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see what happens with it. Yeah, it is interesting about the go to zero stocks. And hey, you know, I don't care what you trade. I don't judge anybody's trading because you can make a ton of money on the go to zero stocks, guys. I know why you trade them because you can do that. So, and I get it. I get it. It's just interesting. But I think if I'm putting like, you know, I'm putting $10,000, $25,000 in a stock, I'm definitely not doing a go to zero stock. I just don't risk that kind of money on that. I mean, maybe your balances are different than mine, but like I'd rather put my big money in household names that, you know, that at least people want. If I'm some unlucky, you know, day and the whole damn thing unravels, at least like, hey, at least I own Tesla or something that people want that I know will eventually find the low, right? So to go to zero stuff, I just like, it's risky, but if you do what I'm doing with my system, you're putting, now all of a sudden you're tipping the odds in your favor, and the house may not win, right? The house always wins. Well, using this system gives you a little bit better odds of winning and the house losing, even on those penny stocks. So, and we've got a couple of the penny stocks right. And I mean, I think Costco, man, is topping in a wave 5 grand super cycle. Okay, just my hunch. Like Eli, like Nvidia, but it's gonna extend, right? And it's like the final hurrah. You know, maybe I'll hit 1,000, a cool 1,000. But yeah, the banks. I don't know why the banks are so bullish, man. How can the market crash if the banks are looking like they're breaking out of these decade-long consolidations? It just doesn't calculate in my brain how the market can crash like that. How is my waves different from Robert Preacher? I think the thing we do different is I use the RSI to predict extensions in wave 3. He is a classical approach, the true classic, like real theory, pure theory, which is hard because that's where the wave 5s get you in trouble, right? Because if you look at SoundHound, guys, if I was just classic Elliott wave theory, nothing else, right? This is a no-brainer label, right? This is a valid label, and you'll go down. That's what I would label if I was following Elliott waves like Scripture, or like the Holy Bible, or a Quran, or whatever your book is. But I could also do this. This is valid too. There's nothing wrong with this count. The problem is he has a classic system view. I use the RSIs and a lot of other systems to predict, is it this or is it this? And that's the difference. So normally I get a lot of the extensions right. I get most, not all of them, but most of them. But his system, he'll always get them wrong because he'll always call the wave 5 when it extends. So you just, and again, I don't know the man. I don't know. I know he's like well respected, and I appreciate all his work that I see online. But I think the extensions have been really hurting him on the grand super cycle because it's essentially what's happened. It just keeps extending the grand super cycle because he's been predicting a crash, right? He's going to be right. The thing is, the guy's going to be right, man. The guy's saying that, now I don't know how low it's going to go. I think he could have targets of like what Dow 1000 or some shit. Like God knows what the world will look like then. But I think, there is going to be something really bad that's going to happen. I think he's going to be right. And right, we know we have a parabolic advance that's got to come to an end, right, at some point, right? It's not like it's kind of dirt, but what's it going to do? Go backward? Like the chart can't just keep going up forever. Like it's not going to go straight up forever. At some point, the parabola is going to be violated. It's going to pull back, and then that's it. It's over. It's going to 80% correction or more. It's like the laws of mathematics. It has to happen. Because it's taken exponential amount of buy-in to get every dollar more gain. That's what this is. This is exponential. So it's taken exponential amount of enthusiasm, of energy, of money to get it just for that incremental dollar. It's harder and harder, but it's doing it. But at some point, it won't be able to overcome it, and then it will unravel, and then you won't be able to generate that enthusiasm and energy anymore, and the market will just... And then it will do for a long time, basing out, and we'll do it all over again if we're still alive. So I think that's his view, but I do believe that what's happening to him is the market just keeps extending. The parabola keeps just getting bigger. The craziness gets even crazier. When you thought GameStop was crazy, maybe something even more idiot is coming even more crazy that we can't even like fathom, who knows? Maybe hyperinflation, who knows, right? Venezuela, right? I have a chart on my Twitter that shows their stock market went like that during their hyperinflation. If you just looked at their stock market, you're like, oh man, that's cool. But no, their currency collapsed. So we don't know the reason why one thing will happen. We don't know. So anyway, we're just going to have to wait and see how this thing plays out. But right now it's bullish. So you just got to understand the market still has more upside, in my opinion. And the only thing that could save the market bulls on the historic charts is if this 2017 peak could get taken out here, 2018. If this weekly can push up, take it out, then these boxes go away. We will not crash. This SPY will probably go to, I think in that scenario, 2,500 SPY, and then we'll worry about a crash some other day. And then what will happen is it'll extend. It'll just extend more and more mania, and we'll all pretty much be millionaires. But who knows what things will cost out there, right? So anyway, guys, that's my question. Yeah, I label the 1-2s using the RSI system because the idea about it is in wave 3, the idea is in a wave 3 is their strongest wave, so your RSI peak should always exceed the peak of the wave 1. That's the fundamental idea. And then the pullback in the third wave, the RSI should not go below the peak, the pivot of the 2. And if those two things are met, so if you have your RSI is below, if this RSI is below, let's say, and this is tough. This is why it's tough to say if the SPY is in a 3 or 4, because look, the RSI is essentially a tie. But let's just say the RSI was a little lower. Well, then I would say that this leg wasn't a 3. because the wave 3 is the most powerful wave and it hasn't happened yet. Because if it happened, it would be above the wave 1. So that means this is probably some kind of 1-2 still. And then as we pull back, the pullback on the RSI should not fall below this peak either, and it probably won't. So you get a 1-2, 1-2, and then eventually at some point the wave 3 will come and will take out this peak. Then you know you're in your 3 of 3. That's my system. It works most of the time, not all the time, but that's how it works. And some people think it's stupid, but it works. It's worked, and you could see the results by following my channel. It always seems to work. I don't know why it works, but it does. It works. So, oh, last minute super chat. I was just about to hang up. So you got lucky, JR. GDDY, GDDY. That's not one I've heard before. Have we done that? GoDaddy. Yeah, I'm surprised. Have we ever labeled GoDaddy? No. Well, that's pretty good. Look at that. Damn. So this is a good example. You see how this peak took that peak out, so we're in wave 3. Okay. Now you see the bearish divergence. So you could say it's that, but obviously it's probably not the case, right? Probably what's going to happen is this is going to come even higher and take that peak out. Because look at the extension. That's just too big for a wave 5. So it's probably the best way to label this. Something like this. All right, cancel that. One, two. So, yeah, I'll put that 4 there. Something like that. So it's more upside, but because we saw that peak taken out, now it could always continue to extend. We'll have to go to the shorter cycle to look at this wave to see if we got that labeled right. Oh yeah. So here's your 3. This is your 3, a 3, a 3, a 3 right in here. Yeah, so it's labeled right. So this is it. So more likely the easy money's over, and it's going to do this sideways to higher choppiness for quite a while as it tops out. Something like that. And then a nice little crash after that. So that's what I'd be looking for, but it still should go higher, right? It still should go higher. How high? It'll be tough to take this peak out. It's going to be a tall order on the daily to take this out. Now the weekly you may be able to, but you're still in 3, so you'll have to really take this out. So I don't think it's going to extend. I think this is pretty much it. So, and then KBH. Everyone's getting bearish on the home builders these days, but I wouldn't be. So here's the all-time high, 85. It looks like we're going to probably break that. Typically, you'll break it and pull back, but once you break it, that's going to be very bullish. So you really, it's like, how could the housing market crash if KB Homes isn't crashing, right? Let's see what happened here. Yeah, see, we truncated. See that little dip there. Yeah, very bullish. I would definitely look to buy pullbacks in 3 waves if you can get it. If you can get 3-wave pullbacks. You see how this on the weekly, this peak didn't take this peak out. So that's why we haven't seen the real wave 3 yet, which makes sense. And in fact, this could be a lot of things here. I mean, I could label this like that, like a flat. I could also put it as like a 1 2 1 2. So I won't label it, but you get the idea. It's really bullish there. But you're pretty much usually you get like resistance, and then you kind of do that, and then you come out pair. But who knows with this market with the fractals, it may just go vertical. Just may go vertical. I don't know this go burn. 28. Oh, he thinks he's heading for 2008. Oh, it's topped and headed down that far. Okay, so well, I'll end you guys with this. The reason these targets are so low is because on the grand super cycle they have us in a wave 5, right? Like I do, right? But it's like what degree of a wave 5 are you in now? They look at wave 5 as like going all the way back from the 1970s, right? Or the Great Depression, right? They're looking at it from the point of view of, this is some kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, so we've been in an extended fifth since 1975. So since 1975, this is a wave 5. Okay. Now, if that's true, we already know you lose the whole fifth wave in a correction. You lose the whole fifth wave. You always do. Well, guess where that puts you? That puts you down at Dow 2000, Dow 1000, like Dow 1000 even. Holy shit. I mean, that's what it puts you at. That's where, I mean, but that's classic Elliott wave theory. That's classic theory. That's where it says it could go. There's nothing. Now, what would the world look? A nuclear wasteland? Like Terminator, like everybody. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's our future. But I don't label it that way. I label this cycle as one. I have it a little different, right? 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and here's 5, and we'll lose this leg here. This is the COVID pump, which makes a lot more sense. Look at all these gaps, guys. Gap, 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 gap. For some reason, everyone's so obsessed with these gaps filling, and they haven't filled, but they didn't fill these gaps. But I bet we're going to come back and fill all those gaps are going to get filled. And I believe we will come back to this level, 18,000. And look, there's even gaps here, by the way, there and there. So there's gaps, but I don't care about gaps. But I do think if the grand super cycle ends, this whole COVID pump will be lost, and we will come back somewhere around here, right around here. That's my target. I think any lower is just too dark to think about, and I guess that would probably be nuclear war or something. It'd have to be, or asteroid hits the planet and life as you know it is over, or something more crazy that people can't because I mean the market just there's too much money and they'll just print money. So it's got to overcome to get the market down to those levels. It's got to overcome a ton of money printing. I just don't see how they'll do that. Yeah. Oh, interest rates. Okay. Yeah. AT&T is looking interesting. AT&T. I think the dividend paying stocks are about to go higher with the interest rates falling. Remember, low rates means people want to go into dividend stocks to get the dividend. Yeah, interest rate. So the interest rate forecast has been playing out like we've expected so far. Nothing's changed, right? We've had this chart for months. I have a big picture. One up in a flat correction. We should drop to maybe 3.5%, 3% on the 10-year, and we came up in this wave 2 in a 1 2, and now we're coming down in wave 3, but we haven't got momentum. 1 2. We have all these shorts. So we had these sell areas, selling rate, buy bonds. Here we had another one worked out well. We should just continue lower. So, but once we get here, it's a danger. It's danger because then the market is due, and we could actually drop as low as 2.8 on the 10-year or 2.7. But once we get down to this area, it's danger because, as you know, since we had 5 up and then we broke this high, we set ourselves up for another swing higher. And that's the wave that probably will be when the indices crash, guys. Whatever crisis this is, debt, maybe this is sovereign debt crisis, inflation, bond, vigilantes, concerns about the government, constitutional crisis, but whatever is going to cause this spike in rates here, and I don't know, they'll get to like 8, 9%. That'll probably be the indices pulling back like I was just showing. But until then, typically with these rates going down. Now the thing about a flat is this 2 doesn't have to stop here. It's just giving you a typical target. The 2 could actually come back. I mean, it could keep going all the way back down. So it could actually go pretty deep. If we get a low rate, this would really push a blow off top, right? I don't care if you're like, oh, that's deflationary, bearish. Well, try to tell the market that when interest rates were falling from 2010 to 2020, right? There was a massive bull market. So this has got to be really good for the stock market and growth, guys. But at some point, this will end. The 2-year did the same thing. It pulled back right where we wanted it to, basically. We had to sell right there, and boom. It's been basically, the market's actually, I wonder if the market's pricing in a July rate cut even. I wonder. So the market forecast is lower in rates. How's the mortgage rates doing? Mortgage rates kind of the same picture. Looking for this breakdown. And maybe your last chance to get low mortgage rates right here at 5.5, 5 on the 30-year before the 10%. And as you know, with rates, we'll get a third swing, but we could also get a 4 and a 5. And if we get a 4 and a 5, then guess what? It's going to do the same thing, and it's just going to go even higher to like the double digit, and that's like, oh my gosh, unthinkable. So we have to hope whenever this is a third wave and it ends, and then it's like goes all the way back down for decades. But if it doesn't end and we actually get like a higher high, a 4 and a 5, then the world is in a lot of trouble. I think the future rates will be well into the double digits in the future. Okay. All right. Oh, one more. All right. So let's do that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's what we're seeing in the chart. Semiconductor super cycle, right? We just did all these charts, and half of them aren't even in their wave 3s yet. They're not like Nvidia. I say the third derivative semiconductor plays is what you guys want to be in right now. The third, fourth derivative. So you got to Google the internet and find out what all those are. Because that's where all the money's about to go into. I think that's where the money's about to rotate into in the semiconductors. Okay, let's see here. KLC. So this one has overlap in waves. So right away it's like a 1-2, 1-2 of some kind. But the question is the 2 finished? Yeah, I think it's in danger of another drop lower. Down to 22.66. It's a tough call because you could call that a low. You do have 5 up, but I think it's in a flat here, connector. So it's in one of those areas that it's like 50-50. If you could take this high out at 57, I think then this is negated, and then you call that a major low, and it's a 1-2, 1-2, and it's just boom, it's off to the races. So It's 50-50. I can't give you the right, you're just going to have to take your best shot at that. Let's see, the next one is LSCC, Lattice Semiconductors. See what happens, guys, when you break out of these cups. It just kind of goes higher. This one didn't have any pullback. I think you got to label that a 3. Yeah, so this one may be finished at 5, but let's see if the long-term stochastics have broken. They're about to. It's close. So if this monthly breaks, then the 5 is in, and it should drop back to 40. Probably the back test is like 40. So it's I think it's in a wave 2 of the grand. So it's corrected in the grand super cycle right now. In this again, just like the other one, this could be the low, but you don't have that confirmation yet. You don't have 5 up, so it would be. I would expect it to go back to 40. And then just double correct down, something like that. And then the next one is ALGM, Algero. So this looks like some kind of 5-wave move. See that low? I don't like that it did that. So it's gonna be in a connector wave and fail, but it should go higher. So it's gonna do something like that. So it's gonna have to finish this impulse. Something like that. Okay, the next one is SIMO. Same thing here. This looks like it's finished. It's 5 waves up there. That could be the low. Let's see. Yeah. So this could be the bottom of this. So this one shows this is a potential low here. So I wouldn't expect a double correction. I think it's support it. Price is being supported. So it's about to have a big breakout. This one looks like it's about to have a big breakout. Okay. Thanks again for the super chat, man. Silica sand chip production grade. Oh, did I do the wrong one? Oh, I was reading the wrong. Sorry, wrong comment. So WBA. I didn't do WBA. I didn't do WBA. If you guys really want to know, someone that DMs me a lot, I think is trapped at WBA, so I'll do that for them. But maybe they're not trapped anymore. So this is why I didn't like it. We got to finish this impulse here. I probably should put that there. Yeah. So we still need a 4 and a 5. I know it's sad. It's still going lower. Still going lower. We're still not there yet. Now that looks like a 1, 2. So actually this 3 looks like it's almost finished. So we should bounce and fail one more time. I mean, again, maybe I'm off by a swing, but I don't like trading it. I wouldn't bottom fish. Let's look at a classic horizontal resistance. You don't have any, really, until $5. You even broke the long-term downtrend line. Like, I'd be careful bottom fishing this. I wouldn't want to touch it, but whatever. So anyway, yeah, I'm thinking, you know, if you're lucky, you can get a 4 and a 5, and you could time it. You know, so something like that. All right, let's just look at the market real quick before we wrap off. How's it going? Futures are green. Bitcoin is doing okay. Slowly pushing out, grinding higher. Everything's kind of grinding higher. Oil, good. I'd like to see that breakdown. That's great. We want to see that break. Silver, hopefully we'll find support. And this flat was finished here at 33, but I still have a target at 30.10. Dollar index needs to correct this whole thing. So the dollar index should bounce a little more. Rates should continue lower. Um, VIX sideways. So that's it, guys. Thanks again. Appreciate it, and good luck trading tomorrow. It'll be an interesting day as the Trump news, becomes real for the market. The hearings, the questioning, the investigation. And the question is, will it escalate in terms of rabbit holes and conspiracies actually come to be true? Or does it just, this news cycle fizzle out and it was a one-off, random, weirdo, and life goes on? So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the next week or two.